Now, considering this to be second scenario, let us calculate the profit before tax. And profit before tax should be your income or your sales minus expenses. And that's the profit that you get, but before paying off your taxes. Now, what should be the tax amount? The tax rate is at 20%, so we put an equal sign, select profit before tax, and multiply it with 20%. That is 20% of 509,000. That's 101,800. This is the tax that you would be paying. That's around 20% of your profit before tax. Now, profit after tax is profit before tax minus taxes. And here we have. Now, this seems good, and we can make it look bold. Now, let us try one more thing. This time, I want to try the pessimistic approach. That's scenario 3. I hit enter, and here we have this. 1,090,000 and expenses at 822,000, and then profit before tax has been calculated, taxes calculated, and profit after tax, what you get is 214,400. Now that's quite interesting over here, but let's say we have an alternate approach. Maybe whenever you're presenting this, the group to whom you're presenting may be pessimistic about the sales, and they might consider the expenses equivalent to what we have on the optimistic side. Then how would that be? Scenario. So let's say sales, we say it's 3, and expenses, they are projecting to be as in the optimistic scenario. Now, why is it relevant to optimistic scenario? Because here in this case, we were expecting high sales, and the corresponding expenses to earn that much of money would be around this much. But now we have one member to whom we are presenting to. One of those members say, okay, I'm very pessimistic about your income, and corresponding expenses that you have mapped to is 822. But I feel that the expenses could go even higher considering the scenario, the economic scenario and the cost inflation. I feel this would be approximate range of expenses that you might come across. Now, this is an unexpected scenario. If this is pessimistic scenario, the one that we are talking about now is a fourth scenario, and that could go even worse. But do I need to create a fourth scenario? Well, not really. Here, we have made it quite flexible here. Now, all I need to do is use the choose function, index number 3. Now, values. Now, this is about the sales that we are talking about. So, sales for first scenario, sales for second scenario, and sales from the third scenario. Close the brackets. Again, let me get the formatting from here. I'll select this, format painter, and select this. Well, all at one shot. Now, can we have a similar scenario for expenses or a choose function here? Now, this time we are looking for index number 1. Values. Now, this is about expenses that we are talking about. So, expenses, first scenario, second, and third. We close bracket. Here we have this. Now, this is even bad because the amount that would be available with you would be far less than the pessimistic scenario. Let us see. Now, what is profit before tax? We have discussed it earlier. That's sales minus expenses. You see, the amount is far low as compared to the pessimistic scenario. And then taxes, we just have it at profit before tax multiplied by the tax rate. And then profit after tax is profit before tax minus the tax rate, tax amount. And here we have this. So now one of the members was even more pessimistic and came up with this number, wherein considering the lowest income and highest possible expenses. Now this is extremely conservative scenario. So with this, you get an idea that come what may, looking at the current scenario, the amount that you would save after all deduction of your taxes must be around $52,000. And this is how you can play with the scenarios. If someone comes up and says that, you know what, expenses, let's keep it at the expected scenario instead of optimistic or pessimistic range. I just need to change this to 2 and we'll get this value 1106,000. And here we have this. You see, the expenses are even higher now, and that does not sound good here. Now, these numbers would have come up based on the historical experience, the 6 months, how the cost and expense management has been handled. Accordingly, we have the totals here. Now here, at one shot, we can just change this to 1, and we have the optimistic approach all across. But here we need to manually change this for both the scenarios, and then it takes care. So approach 2 appears more versatile as compared to approach 1. But let me tell you, if I were to select expense as 4th scenario, we do not have the 4th scenario. It will return the hash value error. So let's undo this, and here we have this. Okay. So let's say we have sales at pessimistic approach and expenses as per the expected scenario. That's the 2nd scenario. So we hit enter and we are close to negative. So this is how we try to tackle this. If I were to select 1, here we have some profits, right? So this is the way how we would set the approach and make the best use of the choose function there.